Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my guide to Temple of the Fist, a level 70 dungeon made available in patch 4.0. It can be unlocked after completing the 4.0 main scenario quest, and then speaking to Ortwin in Rhalgr's Reach to accept the quest to kill a Coeurl. This dungeon rewards item level 300 weapons, armor, and accessories. This dungeon also drops several grade 5 and grade 6 materia, with the final boss also being able to drop a minion. This dungeon is broken up into several trash pools, some environmental hazards, and 3 bosses. To skip to a specific boss, please check the description of the video for time skips. The trash at the start of the dungeon is mostly what you're used to facing: Wamuras, Wamura Campas, and Coeurls. It's very much like the lost city of Amdapor. There will be 2 moss walls you need to kill before you can progress, which spawn some temple mosslings as you kill them. While dealing with all these mobs, just watch out for eggs along the path, which will explode for light damage and leave behind a puddle for a bit if you walk over them. Once you're past the second moss wall, you're on to the first boss. The first boss is the Coeurl twins. The first Coeurl is Sruti, who has standard Coeurl attacks. He occasionally jumps away and does a large AoE attack. After a short time, Smriti will also spawn, which the tank should also pick up. Smriti will also jump away when Sruti does, though Smriti does a conal AoE instead of a circular AoE. Ultimately, you just need to defeat both Coeurls, though defeating them around the same time is the intended way for the fight to be done. When one is defeated, the other greatly buffs itself, and then does a ton of AoE damage to the group. It will then start spamming its AoE, so just try to kill them both at the same time you want to deal with this. I've done it both ways where you zerg one down and then zerg the other. Honestly, it's not even all that bad. After the Coeurl twins, the next bit of trash is vultures, zoos, bears, and doblins. The walls also have pushback AoEs, but it just does damage, so don't worry, it's not going to send you off the side of the mountain. Towards the end of the path, you'll also be faced with several Singa cubs and 2 Singa, which aren't too threatening, and they spawn out of the statues that you're passing by. Dodge AoEs, kill them, on to boss number 2. The second boss is Arbuda, who will probably be the most frustrating boss for first timers. He doesn't really have many AoE markers, so that right there should tell you what kind of fight this is going to be. He is a tank buster in 4-fold shear, as well as a room-wide AoE. His main mechanics are his conal AoEs named after sides of a boat. The only way to know how to dodge these is to read the name of the ability he is using and move to the sides that are safe. If Arbuda uses port and star, that means he'll do 2 AoEs out of his flanks, so get to his front and rear. If he does fore and aft, he will shoot conal AoEs out of his front and rear, so get to his flanks. Other than this, he does have a handful of other attacks. Killer Instinct will place a counterattack barrier around 3 sides of the boss's body, so you need to go to the one remaining safe side in order to damage him, or he's going to counterattack you. Tapas will summon several circular AoEs for you to avoid, and Hellseal marks you with either a sun or a moon medal. To avoid the attack, just run to an AoE that has the same marker as the one on your head. If you got a moon symbol, go to the moon circle. He is annoying, but not that difficult, so stay vigilant and you won't have a problem. The final bunch of trash is full of spirits of several different classes, as well as Coeurls. Kill these and dodge the floating orb AoEs that spawn occasionally, and you should be on to the final boss pretty quick. The final boss is Ivan Coralfist. He has quite a few different attacks to deal with, including some 270-degree point-blank AoEs. Spirit Wave deals damage and summons a wind AoE that will hurt you if you stand in it. Touch of Slaughter will dash at a marked target. From how it seems to me, I've done this dungeon like 4 times, it brings you down to 1 HP, so just heal this player after they're hit. Silent Roar does a line AoE, and Rhalgr's Peace does a proximity AoE from the center of the room. He also has a split damage AoE, and finally, he occasionally summons several dragon heads on the outside of the room that slowly hover in a straight line across the arena, dealing damage and giving vulnerability up to anyone they touch, so don't touch them. Around 50%, Ivan will go to the center of the room and attempt to absorb a ton of orbs. Players can actually touch these orbs to absorb them instead, giving them damage stacks for each one you run over for about 40 seconds. Feed as many of these as possible to your DPS players, but just make sure Ivan doesn't absorb any. After he finishes channeling his attack, he'll hit everyone with a big AoE before returning to the field. The remaining half of this fight is very much like the first half, just with more dragon heads floating across the arena. Repeat what you did in phase 1, and you'll be okay. Thank you for watching my guide to Temple of the Fist. Be sure to check out my other dungeon guides, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for everything Stormblood. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.